Hey y'all, today we're going to be making some hamburger hash brown casserole. Now this is a recipe that has been all over TikTok, so I wanted to make it and see what the hype was, right? I wanted to see if it was any good. I'm going to test it for y'all. So what we're going to do is start out with about a pound of ground beef. Now, I actually halved this recipe because there was no way that I was ever going to be able to eat a 9x13 pan. But I figured if I made half the recipe that, I could eat it over a couple days and it would be all right. So I went ahead and did a pound of ground beef, and then I had some onion that I had diced up and it was in the freezer, so I just took that out and put a little onion over in there. Now, the original recipe didn't call for onion, but y'all know I like onion, so I added a little bit. I figured, in a hash brown casserole, onion certainly can't hurt, right? So what you're going to do is just go ahead and get this all browned up. Let your onion get soft, let your meat get brown, and then just go ahead and drain your grease off, all that good stuff. Put a little seasoning in it. I did a little, garlic and onion. I didn't put salt and pepper in this because I was afraid to over salt it because we have like the cream soup that we're going to be using and stuff. So I went ahead, while that was over there browning, I went ahead and mixed up the hash brown part. Now, you don't have to thaw these out. You can just use them frozen, okay? And this is a 30-ounce bag. And again, I'm making half the recipe, so I only used half the bag, okay? But if you're going to make the full 9x13 pan, you just dump the whole darn bag in there. You're going to need a bigger bowl, though. So I just went ahead and went in there, and my hands are clean, and I was the only one eating anyway, so don't worry about it. But I just went ahead and broke up like the pieces that were, the big clumps of potato. Because, I wanted to make sure that everything got mixed in really well when we started mixing it. So to your hash browns, you're going to add 1 can of cream soup. And the TikTok recipe, they used, I think, cream of chicken, or maybe 1 can of cream of chicken and 1 can of cream of mushroom. Well, I didn't have any cream of chicken, so I just did a can of cream of mushroom, which I thought would be fine in here anyway. I don't know that I would have used cream of chicken with some ground beef anyway, but maybe that's just me. So anyway, use what you want to, y'all. Use whatever you want to, whatever your little heart desires. But I used a can of cream of mushroom. And y'all see, we've been fighting. That doggone cream soup has been so liquidy the last few times. And look at that. That plopped out of there in one big piece. Now, what is up with the cream soup industry? Okay, moving along. So, then I added a half a cup of milk. So you're just going to go ahead, and I'm going to put the recipe down in the description box, and I'm going to make sure that I note that it's half the recipe. So if you make the full recipe, just double everything I've got down there. Then you're going to add about a half of a stick of butter, melted butter, and you're going to want to just mix that in really, really good. And I'm kind of mixing in between because frozen potatoes are not real easy to mix. I mean, I know it looks like it is, but, they try to clump up on you and stuff. So just, mix it in between. So then I went ahead and seasoned my taters up a little bit. I went ahead and added a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. And then y'all already know I'm going to add some onion powder. And then I'm going to add some garlic powder. And I finally ran out of my little bitty garlic powder, so here comes Big Daddy garlic powder. I had to get it at Sam's Club, y'all. I got an onion one too, so when I run out of my little onion thing, I'm gonna have to bring out the big guns on the onion powder. Then I went ahead and added a little bit of Tony's. Now that's completely optional. You can season this with whatever you want to season it with. But whatever you season it with, just make sure that you mix it up really, really well so that every bite that you take is seasoned. You know what I'm saying? Just got to make sure you get it good and mixed up. And it's really creamy, y'all. It really is. So it's going to be good. Spoiler alert, it's good. All right, so then what you're going to do, once I got it mixed up, I went ahead and added in the recipe. I don't know if it ever said how much cheese. It was kind of like, add 2 big handfuls. So I added a handful, for my half recipe. So just go ahead and mix your cheese in there real good. And again, make sure that you get it good and mixed up so you don't end up with a whole bunch of cheese in one spot and no cheese in the other spot, right? All right, so once we get it all good and mixed up, and I know I forgot to tell y'all, preheat your oven to 350. So preheat your oven to 350. So I sprayed my little 8x8 pan, and we're just going to go ahead, and my meat's cooked and I drained the grease off of it, and you're just going to go ahead and put your meat down in the bottom of your dish. And this really, y'all, if you've ever made shepherd's pie, this is very, very similar. Because, with shepherd's pie, you put like your meat, your ground meat on the bottom, and then you put like mashed potatoes and, like some vegetables, however, you do it. People do it different, but basically you got meat on the bottom and mashed potatoes on the top. Well, this is kind of the same principle, except you're using hash browns with some other stuff mixed in. You know what I'm saying? So I actually, after I made this, I was thinking to myself, it probably would be really good if you added a little layer of maybe some mixed vegetables or something in there. Because it's really, really good. And don't worry, don't think like the meat's going to be dry or nothing like that, because we didn't make any kind of a little sauce or gravy to go on it. Because this potato mixture, because it's got the butter, the cream soup, the cheese, all that stuff in there, all that's going to like soak down into the meat as it cooks. Y'all, I'm telling you, it's really good. It was better than I thought it was going to be. I know one of these days I'm going to make one of these these TikTok recipes, and I'm going to be like, don't make it, y'all. But this one, that's not today, y'all. This thing was good. So you're just going to want to smooth it out, just kind of get you an even layer. Then you're going to take another little bit of cheese and sprinkle it right over the top. So I probably used in total about 1.5 cups of cheese, because I think I put about 1 cup in it and then probably about 1/2 cup on top. So if you don't want to use that much cheese, you don't have to, but this was reduced fat, so All right, y'all, in the oven, bake it for an hour. And this is what it looks like when it comes out. Give it the full hour, though, y'all. It's not going to burn. I promise. You don't need to cover it. You just sit it in there uncovered for an hour. And see, I was trying to show y'all. See the little layers in there? You got your meat down there and then your taters there on the top. Y'all, this stuff, I'm telling you, TikTok did its thing on this. This stuff is really, really good. My son even came by and took half of it home with him, and I was a little upset by that because then I wanted some more and I didn't have any. So anyway, that's it for this one. Make this TikTok recipe. It's a good one, y'all. So I'm going to put y'all another video right over here, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Bye, y'all.